This meeting of the September 23rd Democratic Time Central Committee is called to order. The time is now 7:05. Okay, I don't want to speak in a heavy voice. So,
Enter outside.
okay, all right. Secretary, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Pat Anderson here. John Avalos. David Campos. David Chu. Malia Cohen.
Present. Present. Yes.
What a great opening.
Perfect timing.
Jesus.
Victor is excused.
Matt Dorsey.
Here.
Bevan Duffy.
Bevan Duffy is excused.
Zoe Dunning. Here. Kelly Dwyer. Here. Bill Fazio.
Here.
Tom Shea.
Here.
Mary Jung.
Here.
Leslie Katz. Kenny Kelly.
Present.
Megan Leviton. Excused. Raphael Mandelman.
He'll be here shortly.
Eric Marr. Trevor McNeil.
Here.
Carol Migden.
She's excused.
Leah Pimentel.
Here.
Alex Rosenthal. Here. Arlo Hale Smith. Scott Wiener. Diane Feinstein.
Here.
Nancy Pelosi. Jackie Spear.
Here.
Kamala Harris. Mark Leno.
Here.
Leland Yee. Tom Amiano.
Here.
Phil Ting.
Here.
Raphael Mandelman.
Here.
Anybody come in during roll call?
John Avalos came in.
John Avalos, proxy.
Yeah.
So,
And the proxy is Raphael Mandelman.
that's why he was late.
We have a quorum.
I have a question for the chair.
Yes.
If they're not excused or not present, are we to assume they're absent?
Yes. Yes. Okay, members, do you have before you the agenda for today? Yes, you do. And so, are there any changes? Or can we accept it and move on and we'll stick with as is?
I would like to change the agenda.
We're using the minutes or are we changing the agenda?
I'm changing the agenda.
Agenda.
I would like to take a minute or two for us to wish Mary a happy birthday. And I would appreciate it if everybody would sing to Mary. You know, her birthday is tomorrow, so we want to start her off.
So, which item?
I would like it to come right after we approve the agenda.
Okay, item number, okay, becomes number 2A. All right, okay, so do I have a motion to approve? Okay. Who was that?
That's Trevor.
That was Trevor, as amended, and who's seconding it? Okay, Kim Shree. Okay, great. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? Any abstentions? Okay, great. Okay, so the agenda is carry on, because I know you're dying to do this.
Well, we brought a few little cupcakes and some water to wash it down with.
Did you bring enough for the audience?
I think we did.
No.
I think we
You bring
did.
enough for the audience.
And I'm on a diet, so I can't even do this.
I'm putting your puns, I can't handle it.
What?
Nothing, never mind. Too much information.
Too much information. So we wanted to do this before more people showed up, because we might not have enough for the audience. Anyway, we'll start passing this around, and we'll sing happy birthday to Mary. All right, everybody, 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mary. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much. All right, so we'll take one more. Wait a second. Can Trevor get here? Ellen, can you take like out there?
Got 12 for the audience.
We're all graduated.
All right. Well, that's very, very sweet. Thank you very much. It's like the first in a long time. There's something about me that just brings out cupcakes. You think of Mary John cupcakes, right? So there you go. Right. There you go. And Kelly, what?
Fresh and easy.
I didn't go there. She went to Fresh and Easy. She told me she was going to and you didn't say it was.
All right, so. Okay. Happy, okay? We're actually going to go and continue on with the meeting because, to the members of the audience, we actually do serious business here. But every so often, some members can't help themselves. All right, so item number 3. So that was 2A. Item number 3, approval of the meeting minutes. Members, you all have last month's meeting minutes in front of you. Do you have any changes, any edits, any additions, anything? Otherwise, can I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, who's seconding it?
I'll second.
Kim, Shreve, okay, great. What? Okay, Zoe, Denny, okay, all right. And all in favor, please, well, actually, any discussion? No, okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, anyone against? Okay, abstentions? No, okay, great, great. Okay, great. So next on the agenda is public comment. The DCCC will take public comment on all items on the agenda, and in addition, other matters germane to party business but not on the agenda. Speakers will be limited to 2 minutes each, and the only speaker card I have is Michael Gumban Pagalina for the
another one
Philippine Democratic Club. So, Michael, would you like to come forward, please?
And there are some.
Okay, very good. Michael? Okay, and you can bring your other club members up with you too if you'd like.
And basically, I'll just give you, we have 30 seconds.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Gumban from Manila. I'm chairman of the Filipino American Representative of San Francisco. I believe an item here is on the agenda for our rechartering of our club. Our club has already been a member in the past of the DCCC, and I requested this member committee go ahead and approve our rechartering for this session. And just to give you an background on the purpose of our club has the purpose to support candidates in the political arena and to support ballot measures, initiatives, referenda, and propositions that are favorable to the Filipino American community by providing endorsements and related field activities. With me this evening is Michael Sunkuya, our treasurer for the club, and I'd like to also acknowledge the other executive officers of our club, who is Vice Chairman Daciano Lampares, Secretary Carney Choi, Field Outreach Robert Cho, and Legal Advisor Jacqueline Yu. I believe our club has had decades of experience being present here at DCCC. Some of you might know more history than I do about our club, but it's a new generation now. We have new members who are active and passionate about the democratic process, and they're passionate about Filipino Americans and San Franciscans in general, and so we'd like to partake in all of these activities, and we would like you to wish us luck. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, can I ask a question?
Yes?
Quickly, of the speaker, just since he's standing right here. Thanks for being here. Through the chair, per your bylaws, you allow for the endorsement of non-democratic and non-party.
It's not in our bylaws, but we generally endorse only Democrats.
Good.
So they're silent, Maria?
Yes.
What are their bylaws?
So, Member Lord, during Maria Pimentel's report, we
I
can
want to do
have this
that. Right.
discussion.
Now it's fine.
And so we can wait till then.
Okay, but to answer your question, we only endorse Democrats.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so the next 3 speakers, if you want to line up, Bridget Skiba, Susan Pfeiffer, and Jonathan Lyons. Hey, Bridget?
Hi, my name is Bridget Steve. I'm a student at City College, and I'm going to quickly, I wrote up what I wanted to say. City College serves immigrants throughout the city in English as a second language in your local neighborhood campuses. such as the Tenderloin campuses, Chinatown campus, Mission campus, Bayview campus, and others. City College created the first and the best and one of only 4 veteran center in the entire nation that is serving veterans from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, saving many from committing suicide, because at CCSF they find hope and education, and equally important, a place where they can support and find support from other vets. City College offers support and education to persons with disabilities as well as elders taking classes to enhance the quality of their lives. The Ethnic Studies program at City College includes the only independent Filipino studies department in the nation, as well as Pacific Islanders studies and other excellent departments such as Latin American studies and African American studies. There is a LGBT department. City College offers a hand up by which working class persons of all ages can get an education and learn a trade or a profession and improve their economic standing in their society and serve our city and our country as working professionals, firefighters, emergency technicians, first responders, law enforcement officers, nurses, engineers, musicians, business people, filmmakers, photographers,
30 seconds. Go on.
photographer, artists, fashion designers, and journalists all receive excellent training at City College, preparing themselves to be fully capable in real jobs in the real world at City College. City College is the economic engine of San Francisco, and what is beautiful is that it is affordable. Those who attend City College emerge well educated and yet not burdened with enormous student debt. Please support City College of San Francisco in every way possible. Please support the construction of the long plan funded by the Voters Performing Arts Center at City College of San Francisco. Thank you.
Thank you. Susan Piper?
And I actually want to amend my slip because I'm going to speak on 2 issues. But the first one is, who knows what October 1st is? Oh, sorry, I'm in front of the camera. Who knows what October 1st is? Open enrollment for Cover California's healthcare marketplace. Anyone here pay for their own insurance out of pocket and not have employer-paid insurance? Are you going to go to Cover California?
Yeah.
All I ask you to do, go to coveredca.com. The bottom of the front page is the online calculator. You can put in some information and see if you can get a better deal or not.
I've already checked it out, and I forwarded it on my Facebook page to everyone.
Thank you. We want to make sure this is a big success. The other reason I am here, and I didn't put it on there, is as a member of the FDR Democratic Club, I do want to put my voice in support of City College. I'm about to retire. I'm going into my senior years, and I'm looking forward to taking classes there. But more than that, it has given so many people a start between high school and a 4-year university. It's that intermediary step that many people need, and it's given a lot of people a real start in life. And I can't picture San Francisco without City College. Thank you.
Thank you. Jonathan Lyons?
Hello everybody, Jonathan Lyons with the FDR Democratic Club. Wanted to just say to everybody that doesn't know, tomorrow Mary is actually not the only birthday that's going on. It will actually be the 40th anniversary of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973. And for those of you who may be thinking what many people are thinking when I say that to them, what the heck is the Rehabilitation Act? Don't worry. Most people don't know. Most people think about it as, most people when they think of civil rights legislation for people with disabilities, they think of the ADA. Well, the Rehabilitation Act beat the ADA by about 17 years. And it really was the first civil rights legislation that banned discrimination on the basis of disability in our country. And it opened up a wide plethora of federal and federal government jobs and also federal contractor positions. And it also opened up the doors of government. Every single level of government that received a dime of federal money was required to be accessible to people with disabilities. Whether that's a ramp to get inside City Hall, whether it's a ramp over there, an elevator to get down here to this room, or more recent amendment to make online and electronic communication accessible as well. So just want to say happy birthday to the Rehabilitation Act. It is tomorrow, so please, give it a look. And we are, as Susan mentioned too, we are here also in support of City College as well. Do you guys want me to speak on that now or later? When we come to the end?
only speak. Oh, you can
You're a
club
Oh, you can speak later.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. The next three speakers are Elisa Messer from AFT 2121, Tim Kelly from AFT 2121, and Chris Jackson from Community College.
Hi, folks. I'm Elisa Messer. I am president of AFT 2121, which is City College faculty. I'm also an English teacher at the college, and I'm a VP of the San Francisco Labor Council. I want to thank you for taking up the issue of City College this evening. Thank you also for, it's not the first time you've taken up the issue of City College. The last time and the only other time I have been here before you was for the issue of Proposition A, which you supported, and that made a big difference. And we did good work. Unfortunately, that's not the end of working to save City College at this point. So I want to thank everyone who co-sponsored the resolution that you'll be looking at this evening. Trustee Mandelman, Sister Eddie Kelly, who is here, and others, but particularly Supervisors Campos, Mar, Wiener, Chu, and Avalos for bringing this forward. I think those are the Oh, okay, great. That's new news to me, so that's fantastic. And I wanted to take a moment to say, Bridget and others spoke so wonderfully to the value of City College. We know what the value is of City College. In fact, Supervisor Marr sponsored this fantastic study that hopefully you all saw about the impact of City College and the value of City College to our city. However, there is a real threat to City College and to ensuring something that I think no one in the city has any doubt about, that we want City College to continue. But we have a real threat on our hands, and that threat really is the Accrediting Commission, which is out of control, has done multiple illegal things over the last year and a half, and before in other places in the state of California. So we are in a position as San Franciscans that it is time for us to step up together and say, you know what? It's true that City College can make improvements. It's true that there are a lot of things that we can do to make City College a better place and a more effective place, but ultimately, what has happened with this Accreditation Commission is not something we can stand by and be quiet about. We need you as the leaders in San Francisco to step up and be willing to say, we are not okay with what the Accreditation Commission has done to our college and what it's seeking to do to our city. And it's not all right for them to come in this unaccountable way and continue to do such incredible damage to City College of San Francisco. Thank you.
Thank you. And Tim Kelly.
Yes, hi. I'm basically probably here to reiterate the points that Lisa made. I teach at City College. I've been here since 1997. I teach political science. I'm also a member of the AFT 2121 Executive Committee. And I want to thank you all for listening to me tonight. The disaccreditation of City College should never have occurred. It was really quite an illegitimate decision. One of my colleagues was on the radio the other day, Tariq Farrar. I thought he said it best. He said, even if everything the commission had said was true, which he was saying that as like it wasn't all true, and if it was all true, the punishment wouldn't fit the crime. It doesn't make sense to try to close City College down, threaten us in the way that they have, for what has been alleged to be done. And for those of you who've been more intimate with City College and understand what's been happening at City College, you understand this. Anybody who wants to go read the site team report of the ACCJC will go see that if you read this report and then you would think the decision that would come out would be to not accredit the college, you'd be like, what? I must have read something wrong. Something was wrong.
That's right.
And that's really the case. Something is wrong. And people need to stand up and let that be known. So I think that's about all I really have to say, and thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson?
Hey guys, and I swear this is not a ploy to get your guys' support.
Right, whatever.
Yeah, wife's working too much. I had to take over today and she didn't make sense. So my name is Chris Jackson. I'm on the board of trustees at City College, and I just want to first thank you guys for taking the time to consider the resolution. It's really important. I think because of Supervisor Marr's hearing, we found out that if City College were to close, not only is there no room in any other surrounding community college districts for our students, the city and county of San Francisco will lose $300 million in economic activity every single year for eternity. And that's an unacceptable amount of money to lose for the city and county of San Francisco. It means a lot to folks in the community. I live in Bayview Hunters Point, and we have two colleges, the Evans campus and the Southeast campus. One of the stories I tell folks is actually meeting a young man who started City College. He went to the Evans campus, and he got his vocational certificate in auto mechanics. And he now works on South Van Ness at one of the auto shops, and he makes actually $35 an hour. This is a young man who came from Double Rock, was able to go to City College and get a good, blue-collar job that paid him enough money so that he could stay in the city and county of San Francisco. What City College means to me and it means to my family is it's an ability to actually, grow. It's an ability to learn enough skills so that you can stay in this city, because it's so hard when you don't have the skills. City College trains the vast majority of folks getting their GED and their high school diploma. And for those folks, it's the last refuge. I'm really trying right now. But overall, City College means, something to my mom. She came from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. She went to City College, and she was able to get a job at Pac Bell, the phone company, and was able to work for 35 years at a good union job. And that would have never happened if she had never gone to City College. My wife is taking classes to go back to school to get her master's degree, and I've got a lot of pressure from her family to go back to school and actually learn Spanish. And so we're all investing in City College. And there's not just one way to save City College, it's everybody's way to save City College. Passing a resolution helps save City College. Us enrolling in classes helps save City College. They're not just one pathway, there's multiple pathways to save City College. And so everything that you guys can do, help folks enroll, it would be great. And yes, Henny, you're perfect, because she's trying to get me off stage already anyway. So thank you so much, and I really hope that you guys support the resolution to help save City College. Take care.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who'd like to give public comment? If not, public comment is closed. Thank you. So now we're on item number 5, reports from the Executive Board. And this is where DCCC Executive Board members report and just really brief discussion and possible action to offer updates on work assignments and discuss ongoing objectives. So my report has to do with the Democratic County Central Committee slate card. So first I want to thank Henny Kelly, Matthew Rothschild, and Tom Shea for serving on this committee. As you might remember, at the last meeting, we awarded the contract to Winning Directions. We've met with them twice. They're on this either second or third revision of the slate card. It's a sparse slate card. There's 4 candidates. There's 4 ballot measures. We believe we'll be able to raise enough money to put out the absentee cards the first week of October, right when the absentee ballots are hitting, and send out the remainder of the cards at the end of October. And it's very possible that, provided we raise more money, we'll be able to do additional cards or do additional GOTV work. I also want to thank Alex Rosenthal for helping with the minutes last month. That was really great, and we needed it. And thank you, Kat, for always doing it. I know you're in the weather today, so appreciate your efforts. And that's all I have. So, does anyone have any questions about the slate card program? It's going to be pretty. It will be. As always.
I have a question. I do have a question.
Yes.
Just are we still in a contractual agreement with 50+1 to do our slate card, or?
Oh no, they did not put in a bid last time, and so Winning Directions won the bid.
So, I'm sorry.
They did not put in a bid last time, and so every election cycle we put it out the contract bid.
So has the contract already gone out?
It went out over the summer, and it was awarded at the last meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Tony Fazio, and Tony Fazio. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, sure. Okay, Dr. Roosevelt, is there an issues committee report at all?
No.
Okay, thank you. All right, Trevor McNeil, our voter registration chair?
It's festival season. There are a lot of concerts, there are a lot of things happening on the weekends. With the end of the summer vacation, we really need members to step up. If you are going to go to Harley Street in Bluegrass, if you're going to be going to a street fair or something, let Allie and I know beforehand. We can get you voter registration materials and signs and ironing boards. Hopefully you have an ironing board yourself. And just a little bit of a presence really does make a huge difference, if not just for the actual number of people that we get registering, the brand and getting people excited about possibly becoming a volunteer or doing some other activism. So yeah, the weather's nice. Hope you can join us.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for Member McNeil?
Castle Street Fair, let's talk about it.
Great. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Zoe. Anyone else? Okay, thank you. So next we have Leah Pimentel to speak about club chartering and other club activities.
So we have a club treasurer training scheduled for November 13th, and Mary was kind enough to let us use the Association of the Realtor Conference Room. So the email will go out this week to all of the Democratic Club presidents. And then also I received club chartering information for the Filipino Democratic Club. And to answer your question, their bylaws don't specify. However, what I could do is in the questionnaire that all of the Democratic clubs get for chartering, I could add that question.
Good.
But I thought there was a time when that was part of our protocol. I guess that's not. So you're saying their bylaws are silent relative to my question. That's I'm just trying to understand.
Yes, but I could update the club charter questionnaire to ask that specific question.
I would appreciate that. That there was a time when that was part of our questionnaire. I don't know when that dropped off. Yeah, please.
Madam Chair, I just want to point out that the provisions that Mr. Brunner is talking about have not been in the bylaws since 2004.
That's an accurate statement.
Okay, duly noted. Any other questions, comments? Good. Okay, Mr. Dorsey, do you have any important communications or, no?
No, actually, there's a separate item for the policies and procedures manual, but I'll use my little report to just thank Arla Hale Smith, Henny Kelly, and Tom Shea for their work on this. It wasn't as involved as the bylaw changes, but they've been done for a while, and I'm getting to them, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments for Mr. Dorsey? Thank you. Ms. Dunning, do you have a finance report?
I'm going to defer to ED Ally for her report on our December 1st fundraising update. So stand by and hear more about that.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Shea?
I have to apologize. I do have a report. I apologize for not having any paper to hand out to everybody tonight. I will, however, send it out to your inbox following this meeting. The situation remains strong financially with the party. We currently have $69,770.65 cash on hand as of August 31st of last month. We continue to spend about $8,500 a month on things to keep our party running. About 80% of that are fees associated with our executive director and our accountant. So a lot of the other fees are miscellaneous office supplies, volunteer supplies, etc. We are actually receiving income, small amount, from Bounty. There was $3,200 that came in the month of August for Bounty, so we're burning at about $5,500 per month. So given those numbers, we have some reserves and we have a couple of fundraisers scheduled. So I predict that we're going to continue to be in a strong financial position.
Good. Thank you. Any questions for Member Shea? Thank you very much. Ms. Medina, would you like to give your report? And I do want to welcome your new intern, Erin. I've been several times at the DCCC headquarters, and you've just been a breath of fresh air. Thank you.
Yeah, so this is Aaron Kahn. He'll be coming on as our stipended communications intern through fall. And David Shu, you've also seen a lot in your office as your intern.
Speak louder.
He's interning at a couple of places also in City Hall. And he'll be revitalizing our communications. We're trying to make sure that we have a really strong social media plan in place going into 2014 so that young people know where to look to get election information. We've massively expanded our Twitter and Facebook following, and we're going to start working with Nation Builder to improve our website and update it way more frequently. For the Jane Morrison event, it's going to be on December 1st at 11 a.m. We have a meeting scheduled between me, Mary, and Sharon Johnson. That's currently the committee. Next Tuesday, to start things going, we'll be sending out invitations 6 weeks prior to the event. So that's when you should all see that in your inbox. If anybody would like to be involved in any way, you let me know. As for voter registration, yesterday was National Voter Registration Day. Guess who didn't show up to the Paramount Naturalization Ceremony? That's right, the Republicans. We're not a sight. And so we dominated, got over 70 new voters registered. We'll be out at Hardly Strictly Bluegrass, as Trevor mentioned, and the next Paramount schedule has been released. It'll be switching to Wednesdays, it looks like, next year. Cool. We got over 600 registered so far this month, and we've got some more coming in by the end of the week. So we're in a good position. Also involved, we're working with college campuses to train and develop their Democratic clubs. The San Francisco State University Debs will actually be coming out to our next club training with Leah, and I'm thankful for her including them in that. That's all.
So is Erin the person who's been writing all the constant contact?
Yes.
Thank you. Any more questions? Any more comments?
Yeah, I do. The fundraiser on December 1st is to help pay for interns.
Yeah, it's funding the Sue Bierman Memorial Internship Program.
And that makes it very important.
Yes, it honors the past and the future of the chairs of the Democratic County Central Committee.
And I think that's really important to say that because it is not just to put money in our coffers, it is to get young people involved in politics. And is to honor Sue Bierman. And those two things are extremely important in San Francisco. Thank you very much.
So would you like to just roll right into your CDP Region 6 update report, Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
All right.
Well, there is going to be an executive board meeting in November. It is in the north, and if anybody is interested, it's at the Westin, and you guys can come to all the things there. But there will be a Region 6 meeting in October. I haven't gotten the place yet, so I haven't set it up, but it will be set up. The important thing, and this deals with the clubs, and club members need to get materials in to the California Democratic Party with a roster of your club members, because for every 20 club members you have, you get a delegate to the January AD meeting where we will endorse candidates. And that is extremely important. It is a little complicated, of course, because there are some people that are members of more than one club, and we can't count you twice. And that is why when the club officers get the sheets, it is important to get them in as early as possible so that we can make arrangements if it would help to have a person on this roster so that they have 40 members and get 2. We have to work that out. It is extremely important because in January we will have a meeting, and we will be endorsing in the Congress for our congressional members. We will also be endorsing in our assembly districts. we have no state senators in our district that are up for election. So we will have those, we will have a meeting, and it is extremely important because the clubs would like to have a voice in the Democratic Party. And this is the one place we give the clubs that power to help endorse candidates. So you will be getting those materials pretty soon, and they have to be back by December 12th, but we would like them in as soon as possible. So if there are any errors or any problems, I can get back to you and we can correct it. And I am kind of looking forward to all of that. So I just wanted to give you a heads up.
What day is the e-board meeting? I should know this.
I just pulled it up. It's November 22nd to 24th.
22nd to 24th.
And it's at the Westin, actually in Millbrae.
In Millbrae, yeah, it's in Millbrae. And it's really nice because you can come to all the caucus meetings, you can come to the floor sessions if you want just to get involved. And executive board meetings are really an awful lot of fun because they're small and you can talk to people and meet people. So that's a really good thing. And the main convention, which is the endorsing convention, is in March. So you'll hear more about that as it comes up.
what we had?
What?
22nd, 24th?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
So
The e-board is
November 22nd to 24th.
But do you know the weekend of the convention?
It's early. It's early. It's like March 1st, 2nd, that first week in March.
It's very early.
Very early. It's a lot earlier than I expected it to be.
The CA Dems competition?
What?
We got an email about the CA Dems competition for who can sign up the most people.
Oh, yeah. Yes, thank you. If we, and this is for anybody who is an executive board member, first. If you join California DEM 2014, you can, and bring in another member, you get your fee waived. And that is the one thing. But there is a contest, and the contest, I'm not really, I didn't join the contest this time, but the caucuses and the Democratic County Central Committees in the regions can enter this contest, and the more people you sign up in the DEM 2014 for $5 up to $50 a month, or even a one-time payment, for the club who wins it, they get a free room at the convention. The other prize at this is a seat at the table of Kamala Harris and at the luncheon. And so we're trying to make it interesting for people to sign people up, and I think that's one of the better ones. I like that. We had a thing with you can walk around with the controller. We had a 2-hour conversation with the controller. Not as interesting as a seat with Kamala Harris at the head table. Pretty interesting. Yeah, it was okay. But this other one, a little better. And we'll work on the contest for the next time.
Any other questions or comments on Region 6? Okay, so Member Pimentel would like to add to her report?
Yes, I wanted to make a motion to charter the Filipino Democratic Club.
Second.
Seconded by who? Marla. Okay, all right. Any discussion?
Let's do it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? Abstentions? So welcome to the So next on our agenda is item number 7, revisions to the policies and procedures manual. Member Dorsey, Smith and Shea.
Thanks. So you may remember several months ago, we made some revisions to our bylaws, the governing document of this local party. And after we did that, we took a look at the policies and procedures manual, which hadn't been updated for several years. Some of the revisions, and these are posted on the website, if you're on the mailing list, you've probably gotten them a couple of times. Most of them are sort of minor renumbering. Over the years, we've gone into different numbering patterns. How we post resolutions has changed, but those are sort of non-substantive. But there's two somewhat substantive things. One involves early endorsement of candidates and initiatives. That was proposed by Member Smith. It's Article 7, Section 6.1 and 6.2. Hale, I don't know if that's something do you want to go over that?
Yeah, basically, my proposal is that a 60% vote be required if you do endorsement for candidates or ballot measures, in the case of candidates before the filing deadline. In the case of ballot measures before the ballot measures for the election is finalized. And my reason for proposing this is some of the most divisive, although this committee's general policy has been not to early endorse. One of the most divisive matters was about 15 years ago when the incumbent mayor got endorsed a year before the filing deadline. And many of the Democratic clubs have similar policies with respect of a higher threshold. Also, remember, this is policy and procedures, so you can suspend it by 2/3 vote anyway. I'm not proposing to put it in the bylaw.
Okay. A question from Mr. Rizzo?
Yes. Am I mistaken? I don't see these changes in the agenda.
Policy and procedure was on the agenda, and Mr. Dorsey sent everything out. All of the policy and procedure changes were outlined.
Does the public have access to this tonight for the Brown Act?
Yep. It's number 7. It's on the first bullet on the number
Right.
7.
It says early endorsement of candidates and initiatives. It doesn't say what those changes are.
Right. This has been posted and it's also provided.
It's on the website.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Dorsey, would you like to continue?
Yep. So the other substantive change involves the endorsement of non-democratic candidates. This is Article 5, Section 5. It simply requires clear identification of party membership or non-affiliation for non-democratic endorsements by chartered clubs. Now, this is part of, you may recall that in the bylaws there was a vote on whether we would prohibit chartered democratic clubs from endorsing non-Democrats in nonpartisan elections, like members of the board of supervisors. That prohibition didn't pass, and there was a suggestion, a recommendation from Member Shea, that, well, why don't we, just as a matter of transparency, make it a policy that chartered democratic clubs, when they endorse, in the event that they endorse a non-democrat in a nonpartisan race, say that we're endorsing Anne Marie Conroy, who is a Republican, and it just has to be noticed to our Democrats that the clubs are communicating with that she's a Republican, or Matt Gonzalez is a Green Party member. So that's the proposal. I don't know if that's, did I state it correctly?
No, you did fine, thank you. Basically, it was very similar in the way in which the Ethics Commission of San Francisco has developed laws putting notice to voters with regards to independent expenditures. So the font size would be no less than 14 point, and the color that contrasts against the background of the piece, and it would be near the name of the person who was the endorsed candidate, should they be a non-Democrat. And since we are in charge of chartering Democratic clubs, it does make sense to make sure that Democratic voters know when they're receiving information about endorsements from a Democratic club, a chartered Democratic club. If that person is non-Democrat, it seems reasonable to have that called out and noticed.
Thank you. Any questions regarding that? Mr. Mandelman?
I have a couple questions. I think
the idea makes sense. I have questions about how much consultation has happened with the clubs prior to us considering this, and how this is going to be communicated with the clubs after, if we adopt this, and what the consequence to clubs will be if they violate this. All of the questions.
Beyond noticing it, and you know, I think I've mentioned it both in the emails, and it's all been part of the agenda packet. I haven't picked up the phone to call anybody or reach out about it. But just so you know, there's nothing, it's been considered, but there's nothing time sensitive about it. So if we wanted to postpone it, there's nothing about this coming election that we have to do this now. If you felt like,
It's not going to happen.
as an abundance of caution, we should put it over, okay, that's fine.
Well, I mean, this has been, if I could get through the chair, this has been a slow burn since this was brought up, I guess, about 4 or 5 months ago. And this is true that there's no rush to create this new policy and procedure. However, it is an issue that keeps coming up in just about every meeting, especially when we bring on new clubs. And I think that the right format for education would be in the club chartering committee, for the club chartering person. Where's Leah? Can you tell?
She's around.
Okay. She would disseminate an update to chartered clubs that says, you know, please note that the policy procedure has been passed by the DCCC. It is as follows. We also have a tremendous amount of club presidents who come to the meeting, and we certainly can continue to invite them and discuss this. I don't really see a penalty that we've even discussed, because I don't think we're in the business right now of bouncing a chartered Democratic club out for a violation. I mean, I really don't know if we've ever done that on any violation. I think it would be a first case scenario when someone were to violate one of our policies and procedures on what we would do, because I don't think it's even clear in our current bylaw of our policies and procedures what we would do. I don't think it's ever happened. It's unprecedented.
There's Member Kelly and then Member Mandelman.
I think also most clubs, clubs that I belong to, most of the clubs will not endorse a non-Democrat in any instance, whether it's in any race. And so I think that's a kind of, we have an awful lot of clubs that have that in their bylaws, are not going to take that out of their bylaws at all. But I do think that we should, notice the clubs of this policy change. I think it should be highlighted to them. And if somebody doesn't do it and we have a slate card, I think you have to tell them they have, broken the rules. Don't do this again. That's the first one. But you can't keep on doing it. I don't think it's going to happen very often. We talked about that too.
I agree. I think this is a policy and procedure change. I think we've discussed that it would happen in the rarest of cases. It has happened in our lifetime here, in our short on the DCCC. And it may happen again in the future. At least there are now some guidelines set up so that when it does happen, it doesn't have to be a big kerfuffle amongst all of us. It can be noticed properly to the voters. It goes out, they get the endorsement, it's noticed, everybody knows that's a non-Democrat. Transparency is achieved.
Raphael Mandelman and then Scott Wheeler.
And let me be clear, I think this is a good idea. I think that voters would be interested when they get a Harvey Milk Club card that's endorsing Matt Gonzalez. Would be interested to see, oh, this is green, that's interesting. As when they get I don't know who endorses James Fang, but I'm assuming there's somebody out there who endorses James Fang or will endorse James Fang at some point. And having that R on there will be interesting for the people who receive that. I think that's good. I just think that, and I also don't want to, I'm not trying to say put this off forever. I would like to put this piece off for a month. Make the phone calls to CABC, Harvey Milk Democratic Club, Vernal Heights Democratic Club. I don't know if there's anybody else in the offender.
I'm happy to have that done. I would love to have some support if you would be willing to reach out to some of the clubs. and we can divide that list up. And then we can send out a notice and then, solicit feedback. I don't think that it warrants another big debate on whether or not we should do it. I do believe that transparency is the highest level that we should be achieving, and that's what I think we're trying to reach for in this new step that we're taking. Again, we have not discussed any penalties because there are no penalties that we've ever enforced upon charter Democratic clubs in my tenure on the DCCC. So that would be a new and unprecedented event.
We also don't mandate a whole lot, though, of the Democratic. I mean, this is the first thing that I can remember telling a club how their slates are supposed to look, and I think it's fine. Again, I'm supportive of this. I just...
Okay, Member Weiner?
Yeah, I think it's fun whether we put it into a Senate or put it off. And I've, for I think going on 11 years now, I've parted ways with some of my political allies and really opposed efforts to penalize Democratic clubs for endorsing non-Democrats and nonpartisan races. I think it's about having the big tent in the party. But I do think this is a really excellent idea. It's about transparency, but it's about avoiding misrepresentations. You could see a situation where it says Democratic club, ex-Democratic club on the card, and it's implying that people on there are Democrats, and so at least disclose that to the voters. So I think it's long overdue.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments? Okay, Lucy Cassidy, I'd like to hear a motion.
I concur with all the prior comments. I do think it's needed. We've discussed this for quite some time. I think also bear in mind the best time to come up with anticipatory action is before there's a problem. So I think the sooner we can get this, the better. But I do recognize the importance of notifying the clubs. I'm going to point out one typo before I make a motion. At the very end, last sentence in the proposed modification, there's a missing closed paren after the Anne Marie Conroy for supervisor, paren, Republican Party member, the old note editor in me. But I propose that we take a vote on it this evening, pending, and that it would take effect pending notification of all the clubs. So move approval. Unless you think it's...
So you need to make a motion.
That's a
motion. Okay, all right, then someone second it?
Pending order, wait, you made a motion, but pending something.
Well,
that
we move passage of this and that the clubs be notified.
Or would it be that you move to continue that one item that we discussed by 1 month and to approve the rest?
That'd be perfect.
Second, I'm fine.
Okay,
So move passage of the amendments except for Article 5, Section 5.0, which move that's continued to the next meeting. And in the intervening time, clubs will be notified of the proposed change and information and feedback solicited.
Call the question.
Second.
Wait, I have a question here before you call the question, if that's possible.
Yes.
Yeah, I did thank you for your members, great work on this. Did any of this activity and work, and I read it before coming a couple days ago, did any of these changes address or touch upon the protocols and rules relative to the way the Democratic County Central Committee exercises and communicates its endorsements and any of the rules associated with that? Did it touch on any of the rules that when we are, as a endorsed candidates, and then we put the word out in an election, did you address any of those? That's not touched in any of this work.
Prohibited from endorsing on them.
I'm not being too articulate. I just want to make sure that I'm trying to confirm that you didn't look at that all that existing language is still stands there.
Yes.
I don't have the bylaws in front of me. My understanding, my recollection is that we addressed it in the bylaws. There's also a top 2 provision that, we can you can make an endorsement of non-Democratic.
Let me just, I'll try not to speak so obscurely. It's still the rules and procedures of the Democratic County Central Committee when it communicates its endorsements that it'll always be done in a positive nature and never attack a non-endorsed candidate as a
George,
Democrat.
none of that was changed
Okay,
except,
that's all I need to
except
know.
for renumbering because some of the amendments that we're talking about were numbered rather irregular.
Understood. Perfect. That's all I wanted to confirm. Thank you.
Excuse me, who was the second to member Katz's motion?
I was.
Tom Shane. Okay, any more?
Mary, somebody else took credit for it.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I could have sworn I saw him do that. Okay, so who took credit for it?
Hale.
Oh, okay, all right. If you want to give that up, that's fine. Okay, very good. All right, any more discussion? Can we take a vote on this?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay, very good. This passes.
It does so much that I'm not sure you know all that it does and how reliant so many of our city industries from our hospitals to our restaurants to our auto body shops to a bunch of others that I couldn't name depend on City College for workers and what an important pathway to opportunity it is for so many. So, but I'm going to take as a given that we all believe in that and believe in City College. I'd like to remind you, though, that City College is having difficulties and has been having difficulties for some time, but particularly last July, July 2012, the Accrediting Commission for Community and Junior Colleges, the accreditor for City College, based on its 6-yearly evaluation, put City College on its highest level of sanction, show cause, basically telling the institution that it needed to justify its existence and prove over the subsequent 8 months that it should be allowed to continue. Over the subsequent 8 months, City College and everyone at City College, I think, really did about as much as they could have in that short time period to address some of the very real concerns that the accreditor had raised. And in fact, the visiting team's own report, when they came back to take another look in April of this year, found that City College had made great progress in most, if not all, of those areas. But the accreditor's conclusion was that although progress had been made, they still did not believe that their standards had been met. And based on that, they terminated City College's accreditation with a 1-year stay so that would take effect in 2014. But where we stand right now is, as scheduled, unless something changes, City College's accreditation is supposed to terminate in July of next year. And the accreditor is so serious about this that it has said that City College's plan for closure that it prepared as part of the show cause report is not adequate, that is not enough and will not show the way to close this institution, and that administrators and staff at City College need to spend some time right now, and they're working hard on it, to actually come up with a real plan for closure. So the accreditor is serious, and they believe that closure is a real possibility, and that is a real threat. There are legitimate differences about what San Francisco's community institutions and political and elected officials like ourselves and like those who are above us in the political food chain should be doing in this circumstance. And there are some who believe that the very real problems at City College need to get addressed, and that the proper role for public bodies and elected officials is to get out of the way. That is a legitimate perspective. It is not my perspective, and I hope that it is not the perspective of this body. And I say that for a couple of reasons. One is that, as I said, right now the pathway leads, although I hope and believe this won't happen, but the track they're on leads to closure. And we cannot allow that to happen. And I don't think that there is anyone in elected office in San Francisco who should believe that they can not work over this time to make sure that City College does not close. The other reason that I don't think elected officials and public bodies like this should stand aside is that there is very real harm being done to City College right now. There were, it is true, great and serious needs and problems at City College. But I will tell you that the accrediting crisis has precipitated a drop in enrollment of City College that may be as much as 25%. And when the funding and the revenue for an institution is as dependent on enrollment as City College's is, we're talking about, people are talking about a decline in revenue next year on the order of tens of millions of dollars. Just to give you a sense of perspective, City College's total budget is about $200 million. The Prop A parcel tax is supposed to generate about $15 million. What we're talking about losing through this accreditation crisis is more than what the voters are providing through Parcel A. Another example, there is a full-scale administrative reorganization happening at City College. There are differences of opinion about whether it is necessary. I tend to think that some part of it is necessary. But that reorganization depends on being able to attract excellent people from other places to come to City College, an institution that right now is under the threat that it will not exist in a year. So we're trying to convince administrators, including a chancellor, to come from places where they presumably have jobs to a place that the accreditor has said may not be around. Finally, there are very real problems and questions that have been raised about the accreditor's own behavior, and those questions have been raised by a body as august as the United States Department of Education, which found in a letter that they put out in August that the accreditor had denied City College due process. Now, the accreditor has minimized the significance of that letter, but if you read the letter, it reads to me as a pretty significant indictment of the accreditor. So I think, and what I have put forward is a resolution that basically puts the San Francisco Democratic Party on record in support of City College, in serious question of the accreditor, and calling upon all elected officials to make sure that they do everything that they can to make sure that City College remains open and accredited and is not a hollowed out shadow of itself after July 2014. What you have before you, I think, is a somewhat revised version of the resolution, which incorporates some feedback that came in after we sent out the first draft a couple of weeks ago. I don't think the changes are huge. One of them came to us from the FDR Disability Democratic Club, which was one of the clubs that has adopted parallel resolutions to this, and I want to thank the FDR Club for being here and for their work on this. I also want to thank the Harvey Milk Club and the Bernal Heights Democratic Club for having passed similar resolutions. So we've added disabled students to the list of folks who are benefited by City College in the first whereas clause. We've added a discussion of the important vocational training that City College provides. We've added a reference and a commendation to the city attorney for the lawsuit that he has filed. And we've added some co-sponsors down at the bottom, Petra De Jesus, Leah Pimentel, and Kelly Dwyer. And in addition, we have Assemblyman Tom Amiano, Leslie Katz, and Supervisor Malia Cohen. And I think I've gotten everybody. I want to thank all of the people who helped with this. Vince Pan at Chinese for Affirmative Action was very helpful in crafting the resolution. Scott Muir was quite helpful in crafting the resolution, and all of our supervisors have stepped forward and have been doing various things in various ways, hearings, speaking out, showing up at press conferences. So I want to thank everybody for stepping up, and I hope that as a body we can adopt this resolution. And also, I'm hoping that as we adopt this resolution, which calls for it to be forwarded to the State Democratic Party, that we would authorize our corresponding secretary, Matt Dorsey, to make whatever changes in the format, including possibly shrinking the resolution that may be necessary to conform to state party format.
Yeah, it has to go on one page.
So
It can be done.
Scott Wiener and then David Campos.
So first of all, I want to thank Raphael for really taking the laboring oar and putting this together. I usually try to stay very, very calm in politics and not become emotional about anything. What's happening with City College really pisses me off, and I think should piss all of us off. This is it's one thing to criticize the governance or the financial controls of an institution and say, here are the things you need to do to tighten the ship and to become more sustainable. That's a perfectly legitimate thing to discuss, and I think I think most people agree that there's some changes in terms of just tightening things up at City College that need to happen. But to take a leap from there to say, therefore, we're going to pull the accreditation and seriously risk shutting down this institution is just unbelievably irresponsible. It is putting so many people at risk. It is taking a core institution in this city and threatening it. It is, and I will say that in all of the drama around City College over the last year and a half or however long it's been, of all the criticisms that you hear, you never hear anything about City College providing anything other than great education.
That's right.
That was probably a triple negative there.
But it's okay.
And I've always known that there are so many people in the city who've been touched in some way by City College. But since this all started, the people that I know, neighbors and constituents and friends, that I had no idea that 20, 30 years ago, City College helped them get a leg up into the middle class. And this really is about whether we're going to keep letting people get that leg up. And I think we need to circle wagons, not to say that City College can do no wrong, but circle wagons to make sure we save this institution.
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I agree with everything that's been said, and I do thank Raphael Vandelman, we have John Risso here as well, for the leadership that they have shown, and all of my colleagues who have come out to support this effort. I want to add an additional reason why I think it's especially important for the Democratic Party to be involved. One of the things that I'm very concerned about what's happening with City College, besides all the points that have been made, is that I do believe that there's a large segment of this population that has been disenfranchised in terms of the decision-making that is happening here. We have an elected body, the Board of Trustees, I think all of them Democrats, who were elected into office by many, many Democrats in San Francisco. And whether you agree with their choices or not, members of this party made a choice in electing these individuals. And part of the reason that choice is important is not only because of who the individuals are, but because of the process that is involved in policy making. And that means that it's a process where decisions are made openly, where members of the community, including Democrats, have the ability to come in and opine on what choices should be made by decision makers. And what's happening is that decisions are being made by an unelected body that is not, making these choices out in the open. It's making them behind closed doors. And I think that from a procedural standpoint, that's very problematic. And I think that the party has to step in for all of the reasons, but also because members of our party have been disenfranchised. And we need to make sure that their voices are heard, and that is making sure that there is open meetings where decisions are made, that their duly elected representatives also have a seat at the table, and so that decisions are made the democratic way. And so that's why I think, on top of everything else, it's important for us as a party to protect the rights and the interests of our fellow Democrats.
Thank you, Member Campos. So we'll hear from Kelly Dwyer, Leslie Katz, Maria Cohen, and then Henry Kelly.
Yeah, I just wanted to express my support for this resolution and thank Raphael for bringing it to the table tonight. And I just wanted to give a quick, personal reason why I am also supporting this. And that is, my husband is an immigrant in this country, and always dreamed of being a firefighter, and was able to enroll at City College into the fire academy. He's now a firefighter for the city of Vacaville. And it's immensely helped our family that he has a job now with benefits and life insurance and everything else. And that is, I think, the only higher academy in San Francisco. And it's a shame that, these types of vocational trainings, would be gone for people like my husband and others, that need, affordable, schools to be able to go to. And I really appreciate this resolution, and I think it's a travesty what's happening. So I'm hoping we can get our support behind it.
Thank you. Member Katz?
As a former college board trustee, I also want to thank Trustee Mendelman for putting this forward and echo just the importance of City College to the fabric of San Francisco. A statistic that I think sort of points it out to is 1 out of, I think it's not every 7 people in the city and county of San Francisco is touched in some way by City College, which is really an extraordinary number. And as people mentioned, there's the vocational training, the language training for new immigrants, a variety of other things, but also something that's very important for a number of kids that can't afford to go to a 4-year college right out of high school, that it's a struggle. Many of them spend their first 2 years at much more affordable City College, and City College has an extraordinarily high rate amongst city colleges of enabling their students to transfer to the 4-year institutions. So that's also something that shouldn't be forgotten in all of this, the importance that City College provides for that. I do think it's important that we pass this resolution, but I guess what I want to say is it shouldn't stop there. Right. All of us have contacts and relationships that we've built up, and I think we do need to speak out and keep the pressure on. And I apologize for not starting right off. I was asking, and I'm trying to remember the body that appoints the accrediting commission, because having read their comments and some said earlier, reading the reviews, it's a disconnect. Yes, there definitely were problems that should have been corrected. They pointed those out. The college was on its way to correcting those. Actually, a group of former trustees, we all met and added our 2 cents worth of trying to help in that front. But then seeing the report come back made absolutely no sense when it got to their conclusion. Additionally, too, the recommendations that it made were so vague that it would be almost impossible to figure out what was and wasn't in compliance with those recommendations. I mean, perhaps I should have taken some classes from our English professor. But I think that's something that's very significant here, is that there was a tremendous amount of work being done, and it didn't make sense as to the severity of the response from the commission. So I guess, but I echo all the comments made earlier, but also urge everyone, please speak out on this, reach out to your contacts, and if you could perhaps explain a little bit about how the accrediting commission has received their authority, and perhaps there may be some pressure points there. And then just before that, in terms of moving this resolution to the resolutions committee at the state party, it needs to be modified with less of a focus on City College per se and on the importance of community colleges in general, because the resolutions committee will not take up resolutions that are very local.
But it's, okay, hold on. Okay, so the next person would be...
Oh, no. Could I just ask a comment on the accrediting?
Yeah, I mean, the question about the sort of the murkiness was actually a point that was made by the Department of Education as the basis for their saying that due process had been denied. How the visiting team that prepared the report is appointed by the president of the executive director, Barbara Beamer, by the person who's at the head of the ACCJC. The members of the commission are appointed through a very murky process that is supposed to be a peer engagement process, a process where the different community colleges and the stakeholder groups select people. My sense is that it's a pretty self-selecting group, and that it is actually more like staff kind of picks their bosses and kind of recruits people to be elected to these positions. So it's not a robust democratic process, nor is it a political process that is particularly accountable, where you can go to the governor or the state senate or somebody that, who's making these appointments. It's not done in a way that we actually have direct leverage points, which is why it's so politically challenging.
That was a leading question.
Yeah.
So, thank you for coming.
I guess just one further step, and I'm sure the city attorney is looking to a stay of the impact on all of the other things, but has there been any effort made to withdraw the authority of the accrediting commission to make these kind of recommendations?
Well, I mean, that's sort of the nuclear option, which is anticipated in this resolution, which is that if they don't pull back, it would take action by the federal government, by Congress, Department of Education, and then and more particularly by the state legislature to start unpacking the reliance on the ACCJC to determine whether a school should remain open. And so in addition to the lawsuit, the city attorney filed a complaint with the state chancellor saying that that the Board of Governors had given up too much authority to the ACCJC in determining whether a community college like City College should stay open.
So I guess to my point of all of us having our relationships, now you know what some of the other leverage points might have been.
Okay, thank you very much. And next, Malia Cohen.
Thank you. So in supporting this resolution, I told you offering some language. And instead of making any amendments to the resolution, I really want to appeal to this body and ask that you be very, very vigilant to what also is at play, what's happening. One thing that I'm extremely concerned about is the discussion around the closure or the merging of the Southeast campus to the Evans campus. And one of the excuses that is being put out by the accreditation committee is that enrollment is down and that and that the numbers are low. Well, the numbers are low and enrollments are down because there's been no institutional investment at all to either one of these enroll in any one of these institutions. And I really want us to, as a body, hold tight. And should City College stay open, I don't want them to use as a leverage point, well, let's close Southeast because it's not performing or it's underperforming. And I want to make sure that, so this is the language that I was thinking about a way to insert, but I think because it's so specific that it's probably not the best way to go about doing it. But just want to go on record because this is absolutely critical. When you think about the changes that are happening in the southeastern part of San Francisco, when you think about the people that are coming new to San Francisco that need access to education, we're talking about English as a second language class, vocational training, this is where they're living. They're not moving into near the main campus. And it's absolutely a critical piece to our public education system when we're talking about people being able to move into the workforce, retool up, or move into the middle class, and really get an opportunity to live the American dream. So just be cautious and pay attention, and I'd love for you to be an ally with me because I'm beginning to have these conversations with the interim chancellor, and they're quiet. There's nothing public. There's a transition document that has been submitted. I mean, there's been no outreach. Also want you to also consider that the PUC has made significant strides and has allocated millions of dollars in upgrades to the Southeast campus. This Southeast campus is absolutely critical beyond just educating community members, but it also serves as a meeting spot, a place for community to gather. So this is really alarming and extremely disconcerting. This is a particular perspective I don't think that necessarily has been fully articulated or a lot of discussion has been around, but this is disheartening and disingenuous. I mean, it's just disgusting, frankly. So please just be mindful, be watchful. If you hear things, let me know. Certainly, I'll be meeting with the general manager of the PUC as well as the interim chancellor to try to figure things out. There's Trustee Jackson met with some other community folks earlier this week. I mean, and the news that we're hearing, I mean, it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not equitable. It almost is, it's like a social justice issue. Easily to say, well, we'll keep it open, but we're going to close this down. Mind you, the Mission campus is still remaining open. Chinatown campus still is being built and still will remain open. So I beg the question, why is it we have two campuses that they're looking to close, none of which this institution has made any significant, meaningful investment of. So thank you.
Thank you. Member Kelly and then Mr. Rizzo.
I would like to thank David Campos for making an argument that I have been trying to make about the fact that as a voter, what I voted on was taken away. Just like that. I've never heard of it quite done that way. I have a very special place in my heart for City College. And when you say 1 out of 7 people has been changed by City College or touched by City College, if you were a teacher as I in schools on the southeast side of this city, as I was for almost 40 years, all my students were touched by City College in some way. Many of my students were the first people ever to go to college in their family. In fact, many of my students were the first to ever graduate from high school. City College was a place where their parents went to learn their language, to learn about this country, to become citizens. City College gave them a way to go to college. It helped the children go to college. I had a lot of students who did not want a 4-year college, and they now have good union jobs because they went to City College, they learned a trade, and they are working. They came back to me to show me their union card because they know how important it was to me. If they got a job, I wanted them to have a job that gave them some fringe benefits and that treated them like real human beings. City College was the stopgap. City College saved my son. City College is helping his girlfriend better her career. City College is the place where a friend of mine, who is just about as old as I am, so is a senior citizen, who has diabetes, who is very ill, goes to feel alive. She takes a class at City College that allows her to walk, stand, dance. She takes water aerobics. She goes there because it is helping her feel alive. City College is more than just a junior college. City College is the life of the city. It helps anybody who needs help. They have a labor studies program that if your union wants its members trained, they will do a special course just for your members. My local United Educators of San Francisco, for every one of our teachers that goes to learn about the history of labor in California, if they pass that class, we pay them back what they spent. And it's just a little bit, you know, because it's City College. But each and every one of them that goes through that knows how important it is to talk to their students about the history of labor, the history of education. If we can't save City College, that would be a shame. But if we don't fight for it, that would be a sin.
I'm concerned about us losing a quorum, so I'm hoping that people will be.
You can't lose a quorum.
It is a quorum.
Actually,
Okay.
you can't lose a
You
quorum.
can't lose a quorum.
You can lose it, yes, you can under our rule. And
I'll say-
I think we all agree.
Why don't we just vote on this?
Okay, so, how many more people want to make comments about City College? Okay, so, John Rizzo and then Arlo Hillsback. Okay, and then,
We are going to lose some people.
I'm going to be
who would like
very
vote on it. Real brief. There are people who want to vote on it.
I would be brief as well.
okay, so who else wants to speak? Kim and Keith?
There are
Madam
none.
Chair.
Can we vote?
Yeah.
I really like it.
What?
Do I have the floor?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I would really like to thank Trustee Mandelman for putting this on the agenda, and for all the sponsors for sponsoring it. I'm very grateful. I wanted to just, on something that Supervisor Campos said about the Board of Trustees being removed from power. This is the first time in California that the governing body of an educational district was removed from a district that was not having financial problems, that was not defaulting on loans, that was not unable to make payroll. Every other time this happened, that was happening. We had a balanced budget when we were removed. We had a surplus when we were removed. We were not in default at all. So I just wanted to bring that up. The Board of Governors had to pass a special resolution to enable it because the rules had previously said that the district has to be in financial ruin for this to happen. I also want to point out that the Board of Trustees and the entire college took the accreditation a year ago, the recommendations, very seriously. There was not one recommendation on there that the district said, no, we're not going to do that, we don't agree with that. Every recommendation, the board, the administration, the faculty, the staff jumped in and said, okay, we're going to work to make this happen. So I just want to, that sometimes gets missed in the press sometimes. For example, there's a thing, collecting data for something called student learning outcomes. Nearly 2,000 reports from faculty and counselors came in the deadline. It was an August 31st deadline. 2,000 reports from people all over the district. I mean, that is just amazing in a short time, just gearing up and building that infrastructure to do that. So, yeah, there is more to do, but you know, everybody has been working really hard, and City College does not deserve to be de-accredited. Finally, I want to urge the supervisors at the table here to meet with the new chancellor. We're in the process of hiring a new chancellor. We suspect the person will be named in October and hopefully start to work by the end of the year. I would urge all the supervisors to meet with this person once they're identified, before they start working, to sit down with them and just go over some things. And I'll say that Senator Yee is happy to support this resolution.
Okay, thank you. Member Hale?
Yes. Before this meeting, I was inclined to vote no on this resolution. I am still going to abstain because I frankly think Raphael Mandelman is the only member of the governing board that belongs there. This kind of crisis didn't arise when Leslie Schatz was on the board, didn't arise when Bob Burton was on the board, didn't arise when Doris Ford was on the board. I've sat here for the last decade, whenever endorsement of this office comes up, having some members blame the other three or the other four over and over and over again. So I personally think that all members except Raphael Mandelman should resign, so there can be credibility in efforts to reform this process.
Thank you. Commissioner Mathis?
Okay. So just to be very brief, Assemblymember Amiano emailed me in his support of this. I didn't have to ask. It was sent to him, sent to me his district director. Also to let you all know that the entire Board of Education has supported City College and continue to support City College. We had a hearing at our Rules Committee where we also called for that to be presented, information to be presented to the entire Board of Education where the public can hear it, and I'm talking about televised public and the listening audience for a radio broadcast. So I know we will have that presentation. And then myself and the Democrats support the efforts of City College. For my mother going to City College, myself going, I'm sorry, not City College, to a junior college vocational, myself going to junior college, and my daughter going to junior college.
Okay, so then Keith Baraka and then Jonathan Lyons.
I'm actually here in lieu of Senator Mark Leno, and he just wanted me to say two things. He wanted to thank Raphael and the other co-authors for this resolution. Senator Leno is incredibly supportive of keeping City College open, but as a policy, he does not vote on resolutions that urge the legislator, as in himself, what to do. So he's therefore casting that abstention.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lyons?
I just want to say, first of all, thank you to Member Mandelman for his leadership on this issue. Should I say Trustee Mandelman? And also want to thank all the co-sponsors as well. The FDR Democratic Club is a huge supporter of this, and thank you to Raphael for reaching out to us, seeking our support. You know, obviously, I mean, as Member Kelly brought up, you know, City College provides an inordinate amount of services to the senior and disability community. And, you know, I won't bore everybody by going into the myriad of the services that they provide. And also to Member Cohen's point, many seniors and people with disabilities do rely on the robust satellite campus system, you know, to make sure that they are active and part of their communities. You know, it's a big deal. You know, and really when I read the ACCJC report, I don't know if you all have read it, I would encourage you to do it. I was struck by one of two things. I mean, really, I mean, the way this thing reads, either City College is, you know, thick as thieves, and they're all either walking out with cash, you know, taking out boxes of cash at 2 in the morning, or they're just a band of absent-minded professors that's allowing everybody in the world to walk in and take their classes for free. You know, I think that either of the two is probably false in many ways. You know, so I mean, I would just really take this report with a grain of salt. It really just, it reads to me almost like a crime novel in many ways. You know, and really to go back also to, I think what started as Member Compos's point and has been echoed by many people, you know, as a Democratic club, the FDR Dems believe in democracy. And that's something that we fight for and that we work really hard for as an organization. And, you know, to have the work that we as an organization put in and the votes that each person last year especially got, I think, was it 90, 95, 100,000 people voted for the people that won last year? You know, I mean, and all those votes are just gone out the window just because. You know, I mean, it really is shocking, honestly. You know, and I'll leave you all with this. I know everybody wants to go home. I know somebody behind me definitely wants to go home. But we are City College, and don't forget that. We are all in this together. It doesn't matter what community you come from. We are City College. Thank you.
Call the question.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
So moved. Second.
All right, so it's moved by Katz.
Second by Hill.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? Any abstentions?
Abstain too.
So abstain from who?
Leno.
From Leno, from
Ting.
That's it? Yeah. And also from Hale?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so 3 abstentions, otherwise it passes unanimously. Okay, very good. All right, thank you very much for all these thoughtful comments. Any new business? Ms. Katz? New business?
Yes. On October 13th, just wanted to let everybody know that there's a brunch for the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. It's the annual Women's Brunch. The special guest this brunch will be First Lady Michelle Obama. So one of the special things that's going to happen at the brunch is Leader Pelosi will be honored for her being inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame that's taking place in Seneca Falls. We'll also be honoring Congresswoman Barbara Lee for her recent appointment to the U.S. As U.S. Representative to the United Nations by President Obama. So it should be an amazing event. Tickets unfortunately are steep, but my guess is if people really would like to go, there could be some way or somebody that will enable that. But those of you that are able to go, it should be an extraordinary brunch.
Okay, any other new business? Okay, so before we adjourn, I know that there's a couple of people want to say something. The first is that I'd like to adjourn this meeting in honor of, in memory of Cheryl Willis and Evelyn Wilson, both long-term members of the Democratic Women's Forum. I mean, we all know Cheryl. We've all worked side by side with Evelyn. She's trained many of us on parliamentary procedure, and their passing is really a great loss, and I just want to take this moment to recognize that. And I believe that you also have...
Yeah, I wanted to also adjourn this evening's meeting in memory of Gloria Johnson. For those of you who weren't aware, she was a tremendous leader in the LGBT community in San Diego. She was the first LGBT member elected at the San Diego Democratic Central Committee in 1976. And she also co-chaired, I'm a member of the LGBT State Party Executive Committee. She co-chaired that committee during her years, and just was an amazing advocate for women's rights and for LGBT rights in the San Diego area, and it was a tremendous loss to lose her this month.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, so that's Kelly. All right, okay, thank you very much. Meeting is adjourned at 8:41.